Hey there. Friday morning, actually kind of cool out in the camper. I don't have the heater on. I wanted to show you something. I was at a tobacco shop a few weeks ago and I bought some cheap tobacco. A bag full. First, look at that price. Can you see that? $1.99. $1.99 for Golden Harvest. 1 ounce. Let's just see here. Oh, I got the chills. Gotta open this thing up. It reminds me of 1985. Why in 1985? Well, should I inflict a little history on you guys? I think I will. Tobacco history. Personal. See, I've been smoking pipe for 5 years, 6 years, I suppose. Cigars for about 8. Been laying off the cigars quite a bit. But, you know, thinking back, because this has been on my mind, I was like, well, you know, when I was first exposed to anything tobacco that I remember, I would have been probably 4, maybe 5 at a truck stop. And 3 girls came and sat in the booth behind us, and the one of them was smoking a pipe. Straight stemmed as I remember, but that was 50 some years ago, so I could be a little bit foggy on my memory. And I remember the girls, 2 of them were giving the one a hard time for having the pipe, and they finally said, why you smoke a pipe? And she says, well, I like it, and I can smoke grass and nobody looks at it twice. And my little 4-year-old mind thought, you smoke lawn clippings? Innocence was a wonderful thing. But then you fast forward a year or 2, and I remember being, I rode around with my dad in the truck quite a bit, I guess, in those years. I remember being somewhere, I'm assuming it was a grain elevator, because we were sitting on sacks of seed. I was. And Dad was talking with the guys who were doing the loading and unloading, and one of them was smoking a cigarette, and I would move around to where I could smell the smoke because I just liked it. And then it was, say back, this would have been late 70s, 78, 79. Back then, a 14-year-old could walk to the grocery store and plunk down however much money it took, and you could buy yourself a pack of cigars or cigarettes. And they always thought you were buying them for your parents, or they just thought, hey, so what, nobody cares. And so every once in a while, I would go buy a 5-pack, I think there were 5 White Owls, probably Coronas. And I would sit on top of the garage looking down the road when Mom and Dad were gone, because it was like a half a mile, and my eyes were really good then, I could see. And I would sit up on the garage and puff on a stogie watching. And if I recognized their car coming up the road, I would just, get rid of the cigar and then jump off the roof of the garage. And they really didn't think anything of me jumping off the roof of the garage, because from the time I was very young, I would climb up on things and jump off. I like the sensation. A little off there. Anyway, I had a broken rib. I think it was a broken rib. It's one rib that's cocked off kind of weird. And I don't remember ever breaking it, so it had to happen when I was pretty young. But I have overheard Mom telling stories of me climbing up on the kitchen table and running and just flying off the edge. Cigarettes, between being 16 and 19, I probably bought 5 packs of Marlboro Reds. I maybe smoked half of them. Most of them I just gave away because it just wasn't that fun. And then, well, in that time too, I bought a pack or a pouch of Prince Albert and a few packs of zigzags and tried rolling my own. Which again, by the time I got done with that one pouch of tobacco, I lost interest. And then you get into the Army, mid-80s. Basic training, it was kind of rude. They would have smoke breaks, and the guys who smoke them if you got them. And if you didn't smoke, you spent your time walking around picking up garbage in the cigarette butts of the smokers. It's like they wanted you to smoke. Yeah, I didn't take it up there. But when I got to Fort Benning, that was actually my duty station. One of the guys in my squad chewed Red Man. And I did that for about a year. But again, just lost interest. So I would say I'm probably not one that's susceptible to addiction to nicotine. But this right there smells like Red Man. And it's like, look at that there. I'm going to say that $2 pack of tobacco was probably intended to be rolled into cigarettes. But I am going to put it in me little Panama Jack, Missouri Meerschaum. It says ROUSECO, Rusco Premium Pipe Tobacco, Golden Harvest, blended and packaged in the USA. And I don't know. Yeah, that's that. Maybe you know how to say that. I don't. So, it's Friday morning. I'm home early. Tomorrow's a busy day, so what I'm going to do, stuff a little bit of this in the Missouri Meerschaum, light it up and see how horrible or pleasantly surprising cheap tobacco can be. There's a reason it's cheap. There is a reason that is cheap. Got a weird aroma to it. Reminds me of Marlboros. Although, the room note is cigarette. The flavor, there is a very, very subtle nuttiness there. And it's just, I mean, it's not even the tobacco flavor. I mean, just your basic is really light. And you know, if a person was in a pinch, you weren't looking for a lot of subtle, complex flavors. You're more in the line of, I just want something to smoke so I can look at the pretty ribbons of smoke rising and work on my meditative things. It would work. Although my back is really, really light, so it's not staying lit real well. But it's, yeah. I probably won't buy that one again. Unless, like you say, I'm in a bind and I just need something to help my brain in the meditation department. So, but then if I had some zigzags and I felt like smoking a cigarette, which I don't, I would probably think it was okay. One thing I'll say about the fact that it goes out is that I know it hasn't been treated with those chemicals they put in cigarettes to make sure they burn whether you're toking on them or not. Did you know they did that? You can light a cigarette and just sit there and it'll burn all the way down. And because they're treated with something to make them keep burning. I don't know if that was because of World War II or not, because they would, it was one of those things, oh, I guess saboteurs. Prisoners could be saboteurs with a box or a little cardboard thingy of matches and a cigarette. You could light your cigarette, put it in your matches, flip that thing, and then throw it in something, and it would burn down there to hit the match ends and then flare up, and you had a mini incendiary. Or that was the story. This tobacco would not work for that. So that means, ooh, lighter went out and I got butane. Blah. But at least you know there's not an extra chemical for there. That being said, yep, not buying that one again. I did buy something else though. You ever heard of Smoker's Pride whiskey? I bought a great big bag of this just because it was so cheap and they didn't have a small sample. Whiskey pipe tobacco. They don't blend the whiskey flavored blend of quality tobaccos. It doesn't say what those tobaccos are. Scandinavian Tobacco Group, Lane, Tucker, Georgia. I don't know. I'm not going to light any of that today. The aroma reminds me of wood. That might be the whiskey part if it was aged in oak barrels. Maybe. Can you hear the train in the background? I can hear it. Anyway, that's my story today. I'm going to dump this pipe out. Maybe I'll try and mix that with something else, and because it ain't worth smoking on its own. Take care, y'all.